Hey, what's up everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Pose Season 1, Episode 6, and the name of this episode is Love is the Message. This was a very moving, tear-jerking, heart-wrenching episode, but I was so here for it because it was so beautifully done, and I have to say the acting in this episode was amazing. I think, yeah, this was a really good episode, and it was really touching, and the title, Love is the Message, was the right episode because that's the only damn song that Pre-Tell was playing at the damn ball. But there's a story behind it, and I'm going to get to it. But first, let me pick up where it left off. Because we saw from the last episode, Patty finally meets Angel. Oh, yeah, and shout out to Joyce Simmons, who's one of my followers, because I actually gave Miss Patty a nickname. She's now going to be known as Peppermint Patty. Because she was so clean when she came down to that ball, and all the girls in there was like asking who was her doctor. Yeah, I was like, oh no, that's Peppermint Patty because she is so smooth with a clean finish, and that's exactly what Patty was serving. And we even seen that at the we even seen the same thing when Patty and Angel actually sit down and have a conversation about Stan, you know. And pretty much, Angel was like, well, wow, this is a first. And she's like, what, is this the first married man you fucked, or is the first time you got caught? And I was like, ooh, Miss Patty, Peppermint, She was already going in because she feels some kind of way because, one, that Angel's sleeping with her husband, but then on top of it, Angel's gorgeous. But yeah, but then Angel explains to her that, yeah, I feel guilty about it, when I first met Stan, she said that she was tricking or whatever, and he had picked her up, but they didn't have sex. They just had a conversation, but then she said that, she also tells Patty that, yeah, we have had sex, and every time we use protection, and, but then she tells Patty that I broke it off. And I broke it off is because I felt like he wanted to keep me like a little doll. He got me this really nice apartment, and I began to feel as if he only did this so therefore I can always be in place anytime he wanted to come over to play with me. And I was like, that's deep as hell. And it's funny that, I didn't really clock it like that, but the fact that Angel brought that up, that really did drive home, like, wow, no wonder, because I mean, at the end of the day, Angel, you were the side piece, you were not the main chick, so you only gonna get what you gonna get in a situation like that. But obviously Angel wants love, and pretty much Patty's like, well, it seems to me that I'm married to a weak man that lies. And it's obvious he loves both of them, because he has feelings for Patty, and he also has feelings for Angel. And I really do think right now he's torn because he loves them both. But then Miss Patty, or AKA Peppermint Patty, asks Angel, so why is it that you were at that place, that ball with all those gay people and drag queens? And she lets her know, honey, that's my world, honey. That's my home. She's like, you live there? She's like, no, honey. That's where I come to celebrate who I am. And she lets her know that she's trans. And she's like, I don't believe you. Of course you don't believe her, Peppermint Patty, because she's beautiful and she can pass. So there goes that whole thing about passing. She's so feminine in her look that she can pass as a real woman, but she is a woman. But then she's, and Angel's like, well, I am. She's like, I don't believe you. And then Angel's like, well, damn, you want to see my dick? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, now, I may be a lot of things, or people may think what they want about me, but I do have boundaries. And one thing about it, me showing you that will not even define who I am. And I'm like, you better get it. You better get it, Miss Angel. Yeah, let Miss Peppermint Patty know that, yeah, you ain't no pushover. But they pretty much talk and they compare notes, and then eventually Miss Patty leaves. But yeah, that scene was everything. Now we see that at the ball, you know, the category is Butch Queen body. Now we seeing all these muscular butch guys, you know, showing off their pecs and their triceps and their chest and those abs, and they were giving me life. And you know, Pretel is running the show, but Love Is the Message is the song that's playing, and we can also see that Pretel is definitely hitting the sauce pretty hard. You know, he's definitely throwing them back. And we see that Ricky shows off his body in this category. Oh yeah, and we see Damon cheering him on and everything. I was like, oh, look at you, Ricky. Your sexy ass. And Ricky won the category. And then this other guy, you know, who's a Butch Queen, was like, I want to recount. I'm like, no, boo-boo. You got a 9 and he got a 10. You know, he got 10s across the board. Yeah, he won that. Sit your ass down. But yeah, we definitely see, yeah, that Ricky, you know, this is the second time Ricky had won in the ball. So I'm like, this is what's up. And then, like, you know, the song is in constant rotation, and he just keeps playing Love Is the Message. That's the only song that Pretel wants to play, and everybody in the house is complaining about it. You know, we actually see that, you know, the House of Evangelista has been talking about it, but we can see that Blanca notices that something's not right with Pretel, and she's like, probably in her mind thinking, okay, I need to reach out to him because this ain't him, you know. Something's going on. So then, outside of the ball, right, we see that Blanca's outside, and, you know, Electra comes out, and her and Electra go back and forth, and she kind of throws a dig at Electra like, oh, honey, I saw you working in the Butch Queen category. I'm shocked you ain't walk away with the top trophy. And Electra's like, actually win a face category before you can come for me. Bye-bye, Brick. I was like, bitch. Electra does not disappoint with them damn reads with her mean ass. But then after she leaves, we actually see this guy comes up and starts talking to her. And his name is Darius. And Darius is straight up trade. You know, he was giving me LL Cool J teas circa 1987, 88. You know, when LL Cool J was rapping about having a radio. You know, that's exactly what I was getting from him. You know, and I was just like, okay, this is interesting. But he's pretty much macking the Blanca, and he's trying to get at her, and then we see that Poppy comes up, and Poppy's like, yo, back up off my mom's, you know. And he just been throwing, and like pretty much Darius is smooth too. Darius has been throwing all these lines at her, and we see that Blanca's intrigued, and like, and he wanted to take her out, but she's like, I'm sorry, but I gotta take my kids home and everything. And he was like, yeah, all right, but we should definitely see each other again. And the guy's sexy as hell. So, but Poppy was kind of breaking it up like, yo, won't you go somewhere with them corny ass lines, bruh? You know. But it's like, but the funny thing about it just shows that Poppy is protective of his mother. So I thought that was pretty cool, you know, because obviously, you know, something ain't right with Darius, and you know, I think Poppy kind of picked that up early on. Okay, so after that, we see that Peppermint Patty goes to the doctor, and she asks us to get checked, and she wants to get checked for AIDS, HIV, and anything all in between. And it just goes to show you how ignorant the medical profession was back then, because he's saying you're a happily married woman. You wouldn't have one of those diseases unless somebody stepped out on the marriage, and you know, and she was saying, so he's saying, so did you cheat on your husband? Because in this time, they think that AIDS and all of that only affected the gay community, when yet it affected the straight community as well, but you just heard more reports from the gay community than the straight community. But everybody left and right from both straight and gays were dying of AIDS during the 80s. And it was a real epidemic that they ignored because they just wanted to say, oh, that was just the gay disease. It was the gay cancer. And it just really shows you how ignorant and how evil, you know, the medical profession was at that time. And yeah, I said evil, and I ain't taking the shit back. So, you know, so pretty much she admits that Stan was the one that stepped out on her. So he agrees to he agrees to give her the test, and that she'll get her results in 2 weeks, and that he's gonna keep it off the record, you know, because they have to pay extra money to get those tests. So I'm gonna say that I'm just gonna do it off the record for you. And I'm like, this is a damn shame, you know, because she should be getting the test anyway, just because she's sexually active. And even if her husband stepped out on another woman, she could still get it. So then we actually see Pretel goes to visit his boyfriend Costas, who's dying of AIDS. And actually he sees him after, because I think what happens after was, well, what ends up happening, yeah, that happens afterwards. My bad. So before Pretel goes to visit Costas at the hospital, he actually is invited to dinner at Blanca's house. And we definitely see that he is getting drunk, and they pretty much approach him like, yo, what's going on? It's like, all you keep playing is Love Is a Message. Like, you know, the ball scene's getting kind of boring. Like, what the hell's going on? And he begins to read every fucking body at the table. He tells Angel, you need to stop selling your booty hole. You need to stop, like, you know, do I fucking come for you when you be selling your booty hole for $0.25? I was like, damn. And then he tells Ricky, like, oh, Ricky, is your name G-String? Because if your name ain't G-String, stay out of my ass. I was like, he was just going in. And then he tells Poppy that he's stupid. And then, like, after that, you know, Blanca's like, look, you know, I know we family, but don't be coming up in my house reading my kids like that. What the hell has gotten into you? So, of course, he definitely gets upset. He was saying that we could have had this conversation in private. But no, you want to set this up as a damn intervention. How many times have I been there for you, Blanca? How many secrets that I've kept for you? And she's like, I'm not, he's like, I wasn't trying to offend you. He's like, but you did. And then he just starts, you know, he literally just goes off, and he was saying that, look, I am not going to explain myself to a bunch of these little 20-year-old boys who just learned how to wipe their own asses. So, at the end of the day, and then he also talks about, you know, my boyfriend's dying, and I have buried more friends that I can count. And I'm not going to explain myself to these 20-year-old somethings who just learned to wipe their own asses. So until they can walk a mile in my shoes, stay the fuck out of my business. And he walked off, and then, like, Poppy was like, well, that went well. Poppy's a mess. Poppy is a trip. I actually like Poppy. But yeah, but I don't think I'm going to like him next week, because next week we find out, I think Blanca finds out about, you know, Poppy selling drugs. So we're going to see how that's going to play out next week. So then we actually see that Pretel then goes to visit Costas, and like they sit down and they talk, and he pretty much like talks about, like, you know that song "Love Is the Message" is a song that him and Costas used to dance to back in the day in the early 80s. And he said that, you know, I used to love, you know, that song because it was a time where we were free to live, laugh, and love. You know, we can love without having the fear of dying or the fear of catching a disease. But then he also tells him, oh yes, and I had a run-in with the House of Evangelista, called themselves, doing a damn intervention and shit. And then we also see that he also has a close, he pretty much has a good rapport with the nurse Judy, who's played by my girl Sandra Bernhard. Love Sandra Bernhard. And she's definitely one of the kids, so love her to death. You know, definitely a legendary comedian. You know, worked with Richard Pryor and so many others in the business. I mean, love Sandra. So, if anything, he was telling Nurse Judy, like, girl, it's so damn drapey in here. When the hell you gonna actually step up the game, sis? And he was like, and she's like, excuse me, you really got some damn nerve coming from me when obviously we are understaffed and overworked. We don't have time to do that. Don't you think I would want to give life to these patients and make their lives a lot easier, you know, due to the fact that some of them are never going to leave here? You know, don't you think I want to do something? And as a matter of fact, ain't you the one who's the entertainer? Aren't you the one who's the stylist? Why don't you put together something for the patients? And he was like, oh, there you go, being all useful and shit. I was like, oh my God, I love Pretel. Yes, that was everything. So, so then we see the House of Abundance. They're sitting out, they're at the ball. They complaining about, you know, Pretel playing Love Is The Message, playing it over and over again. But now we know why he's playing it, because it's taking him back to a time where, you know, AIDS wasn't a danger. So, you know, we see that Lulu and Candy, and right now is another Butch, another, you know, Butch Queen category. And that damn Miss Candy is a hot pocket like nothing else, because she saw old boy with the body and he was pouring water on him. Oh, when he got tens across the board, that damn Miss Candy ran and nearly jumped on his ass. And Elektra and Lulu's like, damn, bitch. It was just hilarious. But even Elektra said that, yeah, something ain't right with Pretel, because she says it's a great song and everything, and I love it. You know, it's a classic, but yeah, something ain't right with Pretel. Alright, so then we see right at the same ball, we see that Darius runs into Blanca again. Well, Blanca runs into Darius. And Darius is pretty much saying that, you know, you're beautiful and you're stunning and I want to get to know you, and, you know, I see things in you that you don't see in yourself. You don't realize how special and beautiful you are. You know, giving all of these good pickup lines and everything. And they decide that they're going to go out on Saturday, and she blushes, and then all of a sudden they play Damn You Give Good Love by Whitney Houston. You know, the song that was produced by Kashif, and I was like, oh man, you know, that's definitely my jam right there, you know, off of her first album. And we see after that Pretel actually goes to Blanca's job, and she, you know, gives him a discount on his nails, and she was like, you got some damn nerve come here asking for some discount after the way you acted at my house the other night. And he apologizes for what happened. Yes, so he pretty much apologizes for what happened, and then he pretty much talks to Blanca about you know, that he wants to throw like a AIDS cabaret ball for the patients, and he invited Blanca to come there and sing, because he says that you can sing, and I definitely want somebody that definitely got some pipes, and you do, and you the only damn bitch around that I know that can sing. And she was like, yeah, I would love to, but then she's like, oh, I got a date, you know, on Saturday with Darius or whatever. He was like, oh, you got a date, mama? And she was like, yeah. He's like, you better get it, bitch. And I was like, that's what's up, though. So, you know, he understood that, okay, she had a date and she ain't been with nobody in a minute. So, you know, so he pretty much said, get it, girl. But yeah, he also mentioned that, you know, how he said that, yeah, girl, you don't know how talented you are because one time you was drunk as hell in Chinatown and you started singing Sheila E. and you gave everybody the glamorous life. I was like, there you go, Pretel, with them reeds, baby. I live for it. So then we see that Blanca goes to this store where a lot of the kids and the queens go, you know, go to buy, you know, outfits and stuff, you know, for the balls and everything. So that she's going shopping, and Lulu and Candy are there. And also, shout out to Jujubee. Jujubee was on season 4 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she's trans, and Jujubee was the cashier. And as soon as I saw Jujubee, I was like, oh shit, look at Jujubee up in this bitch. So we see that Blanca is talking to Lulu about her date or whatever, and you know, and she says, oh, that's interesting, girl, like, shoot, you need to get on this date, you know, you dried up, you know, because she's been somewhat celibate for 3 years, so she hasn't been with anybody. And all of a sudden, you know, she asks, is like, so tell me a little bit about him. And, you know, Blanca says, oh, he's cute. And then the next thing you know, we see Candy comes out, and she's like, oh yeah, cute, has those quick pickup lines, you know, pretty much has like this, you know, bad boy demeanor about him. And immediately they was like, oh yeah, Darius, he likes the girls, honey. And then all of a sudden Candy, you know, Candy was telling Blanca, like, but honey, don't even sweat it. Just take it for what it is, you know, get you a free dinner and have yourself a good time. And then Blanca was like, Candy, have you fucked him? But then all the girls was like, girl, we all done fucked him. And I was like, and then the manager, she was like, oh yes, me and Darius used to get it in all the time, but then once I had the operation and I got my pussy, he ain't fuck with me no more. I was like, kind of sounds like one that definitely sounds like you know, Electra's, you know, sugar daddy. He likes a woman with a little something extra, and we see that Darius is the same way. So and pretty much they was letting him know that, look, he's a good time boy, you know, just take it for what it is. But Blanca's like, look, I don't need no good time boy. I need an actual man, you know. I want somebody that I can build something with. You know, I'm not just trying to, you know, just be playing the game, going from guy to guy. Like, I'm over that. So, it's cool that, you know, we see that Blanca is really second-guessing this whole thing with Darius. Now he realized that Darius is friendly with the ladies. You know what I'm saying? You know, just like Ricky, you know, Darius is in charge of the girls. So then we actually see, so then we get a scene where Pretel is actually having, you know, the AIDS cabaret ball at the hospital. And we see that he brings in Costas. Costas really is not feeling it, but he's letting them know you're gonna enjoy this. So, and we see that Pretel gets up there and he performs For All We Know by Donny Hathaway, and let me tell you, Billy Porter is a singing sensation. You hear me? Like, that man got a voice on him, and I love him. I love hearing him sing all the time. I mean, especially one of the songs that he's definitely known for is Love Is On The Way from the First Wives Club soundtrack. Yes, love his voice. He could sing his face off, and he sung that Donny Hathaway song. And then after, and then while he's singing, we see that that Blanca shows up, and we see that Costas is moved to tears, because, and it really moved me too, because it's like, it really shows that what Costas and Pretel have, that's real love. And it's great to see real gay love being displayed, that it's not based on sex, and it's really based on this true interconnection. You know, and even to the point that this man is literally on his last legs, Pretel is still by his side. So that was very beautiful to see. So we see that Blanca shows up, and she lets him know that, you know, I canceled on Darius, and she goes and Blanca sings Home, you know, from The Wiz. And let me say, MJ Rodriguez, you have a beautiful voice. Oh my God, I was so here for it. And we see that in this scene, like, she sings Home and she's really feeling it, but then I think it got to a point where Blanca had some trouble getting through the song because, one, she's HIV positive herself, and I think, you know, singing to these patients, you know, definitely hit a nerve. But Pretel came next to her, and they finished the song together. And I just have to say, Billy Porter and MJ Rodriguez, you guys did an excellent job in that scene. Not only was the acting is great, but both of you have some beautiful singing voices, and I was so here for that scene. So then later on, we see that, you know, Pretel and Costas have a moment where Costas lets him know that, look, they were watching TV, and he tells him to turn the TV off. And after he turns off the TV, Costas tells him that, look, I'm not going to leave this place. You know, and Pretel is just not trying to accept it. He's trying to deny it. And Costas yells at him. He's like, look, I'm going to die. You know, nothing's gonna change that. And we see this is what's been making Pretel angry. This is why he's been playing the song over and over again, and why he hasn't been himself, because the love of his life is about to leave him, and it's something that he doesn't want to accept. But Costas told him that, look, you have one day. After I die, you have one day to cry, grieve, do whatever it is you need to do. But then I want you to move on. And I want you to find love again. You know. And he says that fire inside of you, that's what makes you different, and that's what makes you special. And I want you to hold on to it. And that scene damn near had me in tears, because Pretel just breaks down, and he crawls in the bed with Costas, and Costas holds him. And we see that, you know, that was the moment where, you know, finally Pretel was able to just let himself break. And then later on, I think that evening, he gets a call from Nurse Judy, who tells him that Costas had passed, and that, you know, he needs to get there to see him one last time. So yeah, Costas passes on. But then yeah, so pretty much, you know, we see that, yeah, that Costas had passed, and we see that he was about to get ready, and we just see Pretel sit on the bed, and he breaks down. So yeah, that was very moving. So then we get a scene between Stan and Peppermint Patty. When we see that Stan pulls up in this new fucking Cadillac. So yeah, Stan making money. He's thinking that they're gonna go see a doctor or something, but, you know, Patty is like, you know, well, actually, who we're gonna see is a psychiatrist, and my doctor referred us to him, you know, because I think we need this. So we pretty much get a scene with they go back to talk to the psychiatrist. We come to find out that Patty has already had 2 sessions with her. And pretty much in this scene, Patty tells Stan, I know about Angel. I know about the apartment. I even seen her face to face, and she pretty much she pretty much clarified everything. So this is what's gonna happen. You still have a month on that lease. You're gonna move into that apartment, and I'm gonna tell the kids that you're on a business trip, and I will let you know when you'll see them. And also, you will still be paying the bills at the house too. And I'm getting a job after our daughter gets out of preschool. So, and all of a sudden, you know, Stan kind of flips out a little bit. He's like, what the hell is this? Like, Like, this ain't fair. What do you mean? I do have rights. What the hell is this? You know, you talking about you supposed to be here for the both of us, but it seemed to me she done had sessions with you and you already done fixed, you done already done made up your mind before I even got here. What is this bullshit? And the therapist lets them know that, look, obviously there was something you needed out of your relationship and you went to go seek it. Now, I'm not judging you on what that is, but at the end of the day, there are consequences for your actions. And there you go. So then, of course, you know, she starts asking questions, you know, well, are you gay, or, you know, did something happen to you in your past? Like, what is it? You know, because even through all of this, I still love you. But then, you know, we see that he breaks down and he's just like, I don't know. And it's just like, wow, Stan. I mean, so it's like his whole secret is now out. His wife knows about it, and now, you know, Patty, because the last episode we saw, Patty ain't no doodle, is not this little dimsy little housewife. She's very smart and she's very strategic. You know, as I said, Peppermint Patty. You know, she has a smooth taste, but she has a clean finish. That's how Miss Patty is, and Miss Patty's showing why she's Peppermint Patty, because she done already had the shit planned out. I'm getting a job. You going back to live in that apartment. You will still be paying the bills at the house. And yeah. And after our daughter gets out of preschool, I will be getting a job. So she just lets his ass know what's gonna happen, and there's no reneging on, and there's no reneging on it whatsoever. So I was here for that. Then we see, after that, we see Stan goes to work, and we see that Stan is already disheveled. We see Matt's old sick, tired ass talking to a secretary, talking about some, you know, most women are used to this. I want a woman who's used to that. Lying on his dick. And then all of a sudden he sees Stan. He's like, hey, what's going on, slugger? Fight with the wife? And that sends Stan off. Stan attacks fucking Matt. They pretty much fighting, going back and forth. And all of a sudden, all the shit comes out between them. Like, he's saying that, and he's pretty much saying that, you know, I, you know, gave you a promotion and help you pay for your side pussy, and this is the, and you go and do this bullshit. And then Stan was like, why do you hate me so much, Matt? He's like, I don't hate you, I resent you. You know, what makes you think you can come from where you come from and think you're entitled to what I have? I was born better than you. And I'm like, see, that's the reason why I got out of corporate America, because you have assholes like Matt there who will do simple, under the belt type shit just to maintain power in the corporate world. Like, you didn't like the fact that Stan was climbing the ladder. He did nothing to you, but because the higher ups are seeing Stan, you're jealous. So you decide, oh, since you take what's mine, since you taking my shine, I'm gonna take something from you. So like, he wanted to keep Stan under him, which just goes to show why I do not like the corporate world, because they want to keep you at a certain level and don't want to allow you to prosper. Now, in some corporate situations, it is a fair game, but in a lot of them, it isn't. And this was messed up because he was like, you know, and then he pretty much says, and then, you know, while they fight, they keep going fighting back and forth, and let's just say, you know, Matt ended up kind of getting more licks in on Stan, and he tells Stan, oh yeah, and I kissed your wife, you know, on your couch and everything too. So yeah, you know, so your wife leave you? Good. Now it's my turn. And I'm like, see, this motherfucker is sick. And I'm like, see, I wouldn't be mad if Stan would have put a bullet in Matt. Cause like, dude, you crossing the line. You messing with his family, you messing with his kids all because of your damn ego? Like, yeah, Matt's a piece of shit. So, and he pretty much tells him, you stay the hell away from my wife. And he's like, you're not the man that you think you are. So I'm like, So this is interesting. So then we actually go back to the ball. The category now is realness, masculinity. And we see that this is a category that Poppy walks in, and Poppy wins his first trophy. And then after that, he's really and Pretel is even happy to see that Poppy won a category. And the next thing you know, that's when he finally changed the song to "I'm Coming Out" by Diana Ross. So that was everything. So then we see that Darius and while they're at the ball and everything, we see that Darius kind of approaches Blanca's like, you stood me up. What's up with that? And then next thing you know, we see all the girls corralled around him, and if anything, all the girls are reading him like, yeah, Darius, what now she, and then all of a sudden he's like, yo, so what is this, Blanca? What, you trying to act all brand new because you got your girls out here? And Blanca's like, first of all, I didn't need these girls to speak for me. At the end of the day, what I want is romance, and what I want is an actual relationship. I'm not just looking for a good time, and I'm not just looking to be somebody's plaything. And then all of a sudden, that damn Lulu's like, yeah, honey, he got a big plaything, but fortunately, it doesn't last that long. I was like, they were shading the hell out of him, and eventually he walked off. And then we see that afterwards, we see that that Blanca and Pretel have a moment where he kind of explains that he says, so what made you change the song? And he pretty much says that, look, I made Costas a promise. The world is the way it is. We can be gone one day and we don't even see it coming. But he says that one thing I will do is that love and that promise I made to him, I claim it and I will live it. So we saw that was awesome. That he's chosen to honor Klaus's promise to move on and live his life and to be open to fall in love again. So I thought that was beautiful. And then all of a sudden we see that Angel goes back to the peep show where she was working before, where she was like, where they put in, they put coins in the slot, and she does like a burlesque number. So she's going in there. The girl's like, oh hell, there go my damn tips tonight, because Angel is one of the top girls there. She goes into the thing, and we see that somebody's putting coins in, and White Snake, Is This Love, is playing in the background. My Uncle Keith used to play that song all the time, and I love that track because I definitely love some soft rock and alternative rock too, because definitely grew that up, and I definitely grew up listening to that. And my Uncle Keith definitely he definitely had a big ear for rock music. So all of a sudden that song came in, I was like, oh, that's my jam. I love White Snake. Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this love that I've been searching for? Is this love? And then all of a sudden we see the person putting in the slot, the thing comes up, and it's Stan. So it's obvious he's in love with Angel as well. So, because even through all of this, he still went back to search for her again. And we see that he's beaten up, but he still is longing for Angel. So I was like, this is going to be interesting. Because now he living in that apartment by himself. He don't want to be in that apartment alone. He wants Angel with him. So we're going to see what's going to happen there. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you can get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, follow me on all of my social platforms. You can find them all listed in the description box. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I'll be back with the next episode of Pose. Man, this show is awesome. And I seriously hope they get a season 2, because they deserve a season 2, because the acting, the storyline, and also shout out to Janet Mock. She actually directed this episode. You doing your thing, baby girl, and I'm really proud of you. So until next time, everybody, take care.